Hey YouTube, Kamen Rider here with a little tidbit of Rider news. Yesterday we got an announcement of a new 10 Years After movie, this time in the form of Kamen Rider OOOs. Keep sending in the O's. Only real veterans will remember that reference. I'm actually really excited for this. OOOs is one of my more favorite series. It's not in my top 5, but it's like a top 5 in my heart. Like, it's just a special series for me. I just always really like the designs and the story and the characters, and it represents a time very early on in my fandom for Rider and Toku, back before I was jaded, and when things were a little simpler, so there's a little nostalgia there. And kind of break down the new stuff we see in the trailer. I mean, first of all, we pretty much have all the major cast back, which is great. You know, Eiji, and Ankh, and Hina, and Goto's gonna be there, Date's gonna be there. And of course, happy birthday! That's the most important part. The only thing we'll be missing is Bapamali! And it looks like we're also going to be getting the return of the Greeds, and some new forms as well. We basically get a look at like 4 or 3.5 forms, depending on what they are, because one of them, I say and a half, because one of them just looks kind of like a faded, corrupted Taka helmet. I don't know whether that's a new form or if it's just something else, but it actually looks kind of cool. And then there's a purpley looking one. Oh, that's a nice dress, very purpley. And then there's like a super looking Tajador, like it looks like a upgraded form of Tajador, and then Birth actually gets a more official upgrade form, which is exciting. It's always kind of neat to see what new designs they come up with these Returns movies. I'll be honest, in terms of like the purple one and the super Tajador looking one, I'm mixed on them. You know, I want to see more of them in action, and I still think it's cool we're getting them, but they look a little busy for me personally. I thought O's designs, which I think is one of my favorite overall Rider suit designs, they were really well designed. Like, they were never over designed, if that makes any sense. Like, some of them had a little more going on than others, but they always felt like they stopped at the right amount, and these feel a little bit too busy. The little, like, faded, corrupted Tajador, or Taka helmet, excuse me, looks pretty cool. And the Birth one looks fine. I'm not jumping out of my seat in excitement over the Birth one, but I think it looks pretty neat. I do think it's kind of cool in general that we're going to get a normal, quote-unquote normal Birth suit upgrade, because he never really got a power-up form. Your form? That's a weird reference. Power-up form in the main series. Because he had, like, the birthday form and, you know, the armaments that came with that. And then you had, like, the proto-birth suit that was, like, the prototype so that he and Goto could go into battle together. But you never really had a traditional form like most second Riders get some sort of upgrade form. So I actually think that's kind of neat that he's getting one of those. And I think the biggest story draw is Eji's finally going to fulfill his promise to Ankh to bring him back, which was the promise at the end of the series that we've waited 10 years for. I feel like Eji's come back 5 or so times in between then from various movies and stuff, but it never really happened. I think it kind of happened in one temporarily or something. I can't remember. It's been a minute, but it looks like they're going to be using that for the plot line, which I think is great. And I'm actually really excited to see those two again. You know, I was always lukewarm on Eiji in the series, and I didn't realize how much I liked his character until much later. Oddly enough, when he showed up in Geo, I think because I wasn't liking the protagonist at the time, it reminded me how much I appreciated Eiji. But I'm excited to see that dynamic, because they always had a really fun dynamic. And like I said, Geo, oddly enough, reminded me how much I liked him, because even though it was during that period of time when they had Rider tributes where the writers didn't remember who they were, that was one of the actual really good ones, I thought, that stayed true to like what the character was and like what the show was, so it really worked, and it's making me more excited to see Eiji than I normally would be, so I'm actually very excited for this. Like I said, one of my more favorite series. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope that the story is good. Like, the new suits are cool, but as long as the story is good and they make it worth the return trip, I'll be excited. But are you looking forward to checking out this? What do you think of the O series in general? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can notifications for my videos. Kamen Rider, signing out.